Podcast. I'm Shane, and is with me as always is Trey.
What's going on, guys? We are back with another edition of the West Coast Podcast coming at you on a Friday. Not Black Friday yet, but Black Friday will be next week, and we got Thanksgiving going on as well. So hopefully, you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Let me know in the chat or the comments what you plan on doing on Thanksgiving and all that fun stuff. Shane released a video. You can check it out. He releases a good blitz on his YouTube channel. Um, he does that. He's also going to be streaming tomorrow his tournament games. So make sure if you could stop by, say hi. It's always entertaining time when Shane is on the sticks, specifically for the tournament games. You really get an in-depth look at how he prepares, how he controls himself, and how he overall is able to get through these tournament games. So it's pretty good insight for any of you that is looking to get better in Madden and possibly make a run at these tournaments. So we got that going on. I've been doing pretty good. I got a new YouTube channel, well, YouTube video if you guys want to check it out. My YouTube name is Trey is Raw. You can just look that up, and got a new video on there testing out the face cam, and I do plan on doing a stream next. I'm probably trying to do it next Friday or Saturday. I'm going to be doing a stream over on my YouTube channel. Probably going to be doing like a Players Lounge tournament, which I'm trying to. Which will be new for me because I've been doing Players Lounge, but it's usually just like single games. I haven't been able to do the tournaments quite yet. So that'll be a new experience. Hopefully I win it, get some money, and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on. So with all that long intro out the way, Shane, how have you been doing these last couple weeks? Are you excited for Thanksgiving coming up and all that?
I appreciate it, Trey. Yeah, definitely. You guys go check out Trey when he does the tournaments and on his channel, and also his video that he just put out. Go check that out as well. Gonna be good times for Trey over there. Um, yeah, just dealing with the family that's full of sickness right now. And other than that, getting ready for the tournament this weekend. I will be streaming it definitely on Saturday, depending on how my voice feels. I'll be talking off and on. I'll be locked in though. I'll be way more locked in, you guys. I am excited for Thanksgiving, bro. Cause look, I'm gonna have a cheat day and just try to pound all the food in the world, bro. I'm gonna go out to my parents' house. Hopefully we don't get any snow that day, and I'm excited, Trey. What about you? Is you like Thanksgiving a lot?
Oh yeah, I like Thanksgiving. The food's not really. I mean, of course the food's always good, but you get Thanksgiving, you got the football games going on, and unlike previous years, I mean, this might be the first Thanksgiving football games where the Lions aren't. I would probably say the Lions are probably the best team in the NFL right now, and they play on Thanksgiving every year. It's a tradition, and now they're actually good, which is which is kind of crazy, but. Yeah, Thanksgiving is always a good holiday, chill with the family, eat some food and all that fun stuff. Now, when it comes to Black Friday though, I don't know if you are I don't get the impression from you, Shane, that you're a big Black Friday kind of guy. But I'm just curious if you have any maybe stories that you've experienced from Black Friday because I have absolutely no, absolutely nothing when it comes to Black Friday. So, do you have anything you could share for our lovely viewers?
Um, what's good, Rose? Appreciate you being in here. No, Trey, you are right. I am absolutely not a Black Friday guy. most of my adult life, besides obviously the last like 5 or 6, I used to have to work on Fridays, so it would be like whatever. I'd go to Thanksgiving with my family, and then the next day I'd be moving furniture, yada yada. I know like my in-laws, they used to love it, but like I think a lot of the deals are online now, and they're just like cutting down. Like I just know that one time my father-in-law went like at midnight or something and waited all night for like some computer back in the day. I just wouldn't be able to do that. That's not my cup of tea though. Trey, so you don't do it either, huh?
No, sir, but it kind of got me thinking since we're talking about shopping and things of that nature. And maybe, and this is kind of because I'm a young guy, because I shop. I mean, I have bills and stuff, but like when I buy groceries and all that, because I only need to buy groceries for myself, like I don't really look at the prices, and then sometimes I'd be like, I didn't even get this much, and it's still like $30 and this and that. And like when you go shopping because you have like more people that you have to do shopping for and all that. So is that something that you're cognizant of now that you're shopping for more people versus like back in the day? If you were just shopping for yourself, you just got whatever you need personally.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah. I mean, dude, I remember back in the day when I was single and I'd go to my brother's house and I felt like $20, $30 was balling. I could go get like a steak on one night that I spent the night and then put money in towards like a barbecue and all that. So definitely like yeah, just I definitely am more like I realize like a budget. Like obviously you got to budget more and all that stuff, but I mean it is pretty damn high. Like I think like I'm gonna be honest. I think for a family of four, for my wife and I and our 2 kids, it's about $800 to $850 a month on groceries, and then that's not even counting out if we want to eat out and stuff. I mean, the only thing that I'll splurge on like is like name brand pop, right? Name brand pop because my parents used to buy me Safeway Coca Cola. It was like Safeway Diet Coke or whatever it was called, but it was Safeway and it was nasty compared to the name brand Diet Coke. I could tell a difference. Like you could blindfold me, it's not placebo. I could tell a difference. The only thing that I've changed up is like when we buy fish. My wife used to buy tilapia because it was cheaper and like it gave me PTSD. Like I'll never buy tilapia ever again. Like it's got to be salmon or halibut. Um, but yeah, I do look for cheaper deals, like 2 for 6, like chip deals, or like buy 10 sparkling ices for like 10.39 instead of $1.39 each. But it's more my wife who's more watchful on grocery shopping. Other stuff, not so much. But grocery shopping, bro, like if I get a can of tuna, let's just say, or a packet of tuna that's 89 cents, and she finds one for 84 cents, she'll tell me to put it back. So we'll save 5 cents. But definitely, yeah, when you start to have a family and all that stuff, budgeting is a must, unless you're balling. Like, unless you're balling and don't have to worry about it. But yeah, Trey, I definitely budget on groceries, but it's still pretty damn expensive. $850 a month is no joke.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Like I remember back in the day, like you said, you're talking about the generic brands, and I mean, I don't really think I really minded it. Versus, I mean, I could definitely tell the difference between generic brand stuff and the real deal. But overall, I wouldn't say it was that much of a deterrent, personally. But like we're talking about grocery shopping now. When we come to, and this is another thing too, because like I don't know, I don't know if it's because I just been getting older or whatever, but like when it comes to like clothes and stuff, I mean I want to have like good clothes and stuff like when I go out or whatever, like I want to look good and stuff, but I gotta tell you, like, as I get older, like the amount of money on clothes that I have to spend is like, why at this point? So, Shane, have you ever been a big fashion guy yourself, or like, how important is like clothes to you at this point in your life?
Bro, I feel you. So like the whole joke is like I don't dress up as much as like certain family members, but it's more I don't have the money that, some family members have, which is not their fault. I would just be honest, but from like 17 to 21 when I was working and I had all the money in the world, yeah, I'd buy the nice jeans. I'd buy like the Cortez Nikes. I'd buy the nice button-up shirts. I would buy the nice like pullover shirts. Yeah, man, I was dressed to impress more then. And don't get me wrong, I still wear basketball shorts and t-shirts, but like as I've gotten older, bro, like yeah, if we go out, I still want to dress nice, of course, but I mean, A, I don't have the money as much as I used to. It goes to the wife and the kids first and foremost. Make sure the kids have everything and then the wife and then me. It is what it is. Like I will wear fashionable sweats, a hoodie, but when I go out, it's still like for the most part, like if I'm going out to like the bar or the casino or somewhere nice, I'll do and it's an evening out, Trey. I'll still have some nice shoes and nice pants and try to wear a shirt that's nice, but nah, man, I don't have tons of clothes like I used to in the past. I still have a decent amount, don't get me wrong, but not like when I was young, bro. So I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. So what it relates to, football, for example, do you see like if there's like if the Seahawks drafted a stud and you're like, I want to get this person's jersey. I buy like shirts here and there of like my favorite sports teams and things like that, but jerseys these days is like way too expensive and all that. So I mean, do you have like a fair amount of like your favorite sports team shirts and memorabilia?
Honestly, bro. So I don't know if I ever told this story. I'm pretty sure I have. When TJ Hushmanzada was for the Seahawks, bro, I went in and got myself one, my wife one, and my oldest one. But it was just us three living together, and it was like I remember, bro. It was like $300 I dropped, and I was so excited. Like money wasn't an issue. Like I was making really good money, and this mother beeper didn't tell me that the guy got traded or released or whatever it was like 15 minutes before I came in. That thing kind of made me upset. But nah, man, I usually like if I haven't really splurged on a jersey in so long since then, bro. Like I've had family members for like Christmas buy me like a Russell Wilson jersey in the past or something like that. But nah, back in the day, bro, like I'd buy some jerseys, but not so much anymore, man. Like it is what it is. I have like Seahawks gear or Seattle Mariners gear or Gonzaga gear, but like I said, man, I treat myself last in the family tray. Like I make sure everybody else gets extra clothes and all that.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that for sure. But yeah, I mean that whole like sports memorabilia thing, it has a whole other side to it. Like there's this one website that I've been kind of peeping out recently. It's called Pristine Auction, and they'll have like sports memorabilia on there, and essentially it's like a betting site. So someone will put an item, and it'll set like a price of like $5, and it just going on up and stuff. We are not sponsored. They did not hit me up to say that, even though apparently from what I from what I hear from Shane is that there's been a few interesting offers. We're not going to touch on that, but no, it's definitely interesting for sure. So moving forward, when like talk to me about this patch, right? EA dropped a patch And one of the major things that they were talking about is they added on the Saquon Barkley reverse hurdle animation, which I can pretty much guarantee you no one asked for, and no no one's probably seen, and people are gonna forget about it in like 5 to 10 minutes. But other than that, I haven't really noticed a whole lot different about the patch so far. Zones are still playing not as good. Middle thirds are the most useless zones known to mankind in this game. So, Shane, can you give me a little bit more insight on, the patch and the things, if things have been changed so far?
You know, there's this guy that makes video. I'm totally joking. For a more detailed, in-depth analysis, go check out the patch notes that I did drop when it came out a couple of days ago. But playing it, Trey, I really haven't seen that much of a difference. The only thing that I've noticed is like people were pulling out defensive ends as far off the line as possible in certain formations, and they loop around the offensive line. Well, now they reset. So like if you pull it out, the defense end will start to walk back towards the line, so it won't do that whole loop around the offensive line. But the funny thing is I did put out a little blitz, and it kind of comes around the right tackle or left tackle if you want to flip it in a 3-4 coverage. But there's still ones that work by pulling it out like 3-3-5, and I believe even 3-3 odd. But no, Trey, I haven't noticed really a lot. So like either like it hasn't affected me, or it's just like very minimal. But one thing that I have noticed, I don't know if you've been playing it a lot, Trey, but they had offensive formations that were illegal, like where they'd have like I don't even know how to explain it, like three guys like vertical behind each other with two on the left side of them, and it was so overloaded, but it was illegal, and your defense would dumb out for a while. I would play a few guys that did that in the last couple weeks, but they fixed that. I haven't seen that again, so they did get rid of that. They also fixed where like the QB, if you kneeled, you you would sometimes go like look like you get on top of the center when you're trying to kneel. I had that happen a few times. I actually got tackled a couple times, which I was scared I was going to fumble. But that's been fixed as well. Other than that, I haven't really noticed anything. Um, but what I'm gonna do right now, I am gonna give away one free membership. We will see who wins and who does that. I'm gonna give a couple more away. So let's get into this right now. I am gonna give the first one right now. I'm sorry, Trey. It's just taking time to pull up. And the first winner of the membership giveaway, which will help you become moderator if you come into the channel, and you'll get playbacks and all that. The winner is Kai Blocks. Congrats to Kai Blocks. You became a paid member again. I will be giving away two more and tonight, so continue to check back to see if you're a winner. Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, shout out to Kai Boss for becoming a member. Gonna be giving some more members on this channel for sure. But, and hearing you, Shane, talk about, the illegal formations, it did kind of make me realize that, out of the gun bunch, it's not gun bunch. I forget what it's called, but it's like bunch offset. I don't know. You probably know what I'm talking about, but it'll be like a reverse play. So the receiver will go in motion. they'll throw it back to the receiver, and the receiver will throw it, and usually it's like a touchdown because the defense just doesn't react to it that well. I've seen that happen. I haven't had a whole lot of people run that on me, but you know, this one guy that I played definitely used that and was exploiting it. So, hopefully that's something that they patched earlier. I mean, it's not egregious. I mean, if I got a few more reps against it, I probably could figure out a way to shut it down. And but especially in a formation like bunch, which we all know that bunch is a lot to handle. So like you put in a trick play on top of that, it's gonna be pretty rough. But
Trey, can you hear me?
and speaking of bunch and all that, Shane, I do want to talk about because I do see it seems like on the offensive side of the ball these days, there's a lot more trips formations that are becoming more meta. Like don't get me wrong, there's still like bunch and like congested formations are still good, obviously, but I would say from what I've been noticing recently is that it seems like it's been switching to more, of these trips formations on offense. So, what's your whole take on the offensive meta so far?
You know, Trey. So yeah, it's that double pass, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I got killed by one guy. He had Taysom Hill as the guy that would come back for the pass, and my guys would bite in and double and dumb out. So I asked around, and I guess you're supposed to man it all up and guess pass. But the only issue is, what if they're not doing that and they're doing a man beater? Then your man beater is cooked. So I'm a little confused on that. Hopefully, I don't, run into that too much. um, what's good, Rose? But yeah, I have noticed it's starting to become like it's still gun bunch in the comp scene meta. I would say majority, but definitely Trey. There's way more gun trips people out there. Way more gun trips people out there. It is pretty. It's interesting to see. It's also gun tight. I've seen a little bit of it, but it would be nice to get rid of gun bunch as a the main meta, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's cool to see trips tight end. I run some trips tight end and gun bunch tight end, so it is pretty cool to see though, Trey.
Yeah, no, I mean at this point, Gun Bunch is like Freddy Krueger. Like no matter like how many patches you try to, I mean there was one point, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where they tried taking away the ability to block the tight end in Gun Bunch, but people figure out a workaround behind that, and it just seems like no matter what, Gun Bunch is always going to be there. But do you think that Skimbo, like when you look at the history of Bunch being a thing in Madden, do you think that Skimbo is probably the best Bunch user of all time, and do you think he pretty much is the reason why Gun Bunch is still being used to?
That's a really good question, and I do believe he is kind of the maker of it. Like, I know some people will want to argue it and be like, nah, this person or this person, but I feel like he's kind of like the problem for Gun Bunch, right? He started it. He was a big fish in a small pond when that became a thing, and he was elite. Like, Skibbo was super elite at Gun Bunch. The thing is now there's a lot of people who can run it really, really well, and with Twitch out there and YouTube out there, it almost hurts a guy like Skimbo, right? They can see his setup, they can see his what he thinks, what he's trying to do. Um, and for me, it's like it kind of brings me back to I don't remember what it was. I think it was Madden 19 when it was gun ace offset, and I was actually beating pros in the ladders. It was online. It was on your console, and I must have played a pro when he was on alert tag, or it was a guy that knew a pro that got to Drini. And because, like, like, I hope people understand, like, people like Civil and the other people that sell ebooks, they have people that figure out plays and then tell him, and he posted it on their websites. I hope that people don't really think that he's coming up with it all by himself. Like, for like, Civil had like three or four people that used to do it for him, and I'm pretty sure, I know that Sirius does it still for him, and I think D Croft is on his thing now. But anyways, that's not the point. The whole point is I was running this one play, like run play and then a pass play, and it was killing them. It was killing everybody. Nobody knew how to stop it, and then Drini found out about it, posted about it, New England playbook, and I sucked. And so, just to go long story back to Skimbo, I think it hurts Skimbo when more people can figure out about it, right? They watch him, they see what he does. Then people have to figure out how to stop it, right? So then more people stop it. That's why sometimes if you run off meta and you run it to perfection, it can give people issues, at least for a game or two. Rose wrote, EA patches their games to affect the majority of people to appeal to the micro of people, which are casuals who don't watch MCS and YouTube, and wonder why they can't beat one defense all games. So they say Blitz is too OP. Rose, I'm like 50-50 on that, to be honest. There are some blitzes that are like kind of glitches. Like last year, there's the A gap where it would come in almost no matter what. But yes, at the same time, every blitz can be figured out. It just is. It's just not really fun if you don't have a crew or a bunch of people, or you can't afford memberships. Like, for example, here we'll do this. So earlier in the year against Dollar, right? Dollar, you had to against a Willie, you had to double team the defensive tackle. Okay, well that's simple. Well, even before that, there's the A gap one, and it wasn't just slide protect one way. It was slide protect the opposite way, and then ID the free safety. Like, so for people that are by themselves, that's gonna be really hard to do it. But yes, like, I kind of feel like that versus pros. Like how you're saying, like pros for pro, like you need to figure out what the pros are doing. I feel like that when pros run dollar 24/7, and I'm in power formation, and for whatever reason they stop my power runs. I mean, Trey, and you have heard me complain. Be honest about that. However you want to say it on which side of the wall you're on, but I mean, most people, like, here, I'll say this. When I used to run 24/7, like, I mean, I ran 24/7 even more than this, and I had some pros crying about the run game. Oh, it's not fair. You got to stop it. You got to adjust. Like, I could sit there and cry all the time. The only thing that I think that they need to fix, honestly, like, just being brutally honest, is dollars shouldn't be stopping power formations. It just shouldn't. If you want to go to 4-3-6-1 or 3-3 odd and stop my run because you know how to set up run defense, that's fine to me. I have to adjust. But dollars shouldn't be stopping power formations. And then the other thing that I complain about is I feel like it is too much pay to play. And the pros ruined it by saying they didn't like salary cap. So, I mean, for me, it is what it is. Like, you got to adjust. You got to be better. They do have to have patches somewhat, though, Rose, because they do have to make the zones better than they were. Um, there is an ability, actually, that people should get. I don't know if I'm going to make a video for it or post it in the membership area, but there is an ability that stops some passes. And when it catches on, I think it'll be really, really deadly. So, anyways, Trey, that was my answer. It was long winded. My apologies.
Nah, you're good, bro. You know, I appreciate the long winded answers for sure. No, I mean, I agree with Rose about, how she was saying, they cater to more casuals. When literally one of your patches is putting in a freaking, Saquon Barkley reverse hurdle over a guy that no one asked for. I mean, it's more blatant than anything, and I find it funny how they'll add that, and I don't know the amount of resources that went into them having to put something like that in the game, but I know for a fact that they probably could use those same amount of resources to, fix something that's problem, and that's like my biggest gripe with this company and just EA Sports in general. And I know I've been ranting about it, but it's like if they would just take the time to fix something the way that it's supposed to be fixed and not just try to use duct tape to fix it, which is what they do. They never fix a thing properly. Then I think that would be the more beneficial way going forward. But, it's EA Sports. We're pretty much stuck with them at this point. Shane brought up an interesting thing, though, because, he was talking about, you know, the blitzes and, how back in the day he would run even more. And it kind of got me thinking because I remember the one meta that I was really good at stopping was in Madden 21 when they had the gun bunch tight end. When they had a delay fade, they took him out. Now you can't use I mean, you can use delay phase, but it's nothing how it was in Madden 21. And I had a perfect defense that stopped that every single time, and I was really good. And it got to the point to where it's like I wanted people to try to run it against me because I knew that they weren't going to be able to run it on me. So I'm just wondering, Shane, from your point of view, what would you say is, something that a lot of people had trouble stopping, but for some reason when it came to you, you're able to stop it. I think I know what you were the best at though was defending the swerve in Madden 17. Am I right?
You know, you're absolutely right on defense, Trey. That was one meta that I literally shut down. No swerve, zone. No swerve, zone. You're absolutely right, Trey. I took away that swerve lickety split. Like, if you can pick off Voltrax, who was the swerve king at that time, as many times as I did, and make him text you, "Do you know who I am?" You did something right. I was pretty good at that year. There was one year that single back tight was really, really popular, and all the pros were using it, even Skimbo. I think it was, I want to say it was Madden 17, and it would be a pass. They'd either go from halfback wham to this pass play where the tight end would do an in or an out and an in route. The wide receiver on the left of that would do a deep post, and then the other two they would switch it up to either a corner route or a drag route. And at the time, I was spamming dollar. Like, I was a dollar guru before dollar was like the cool thing to do because at that time, 3-4 Mike Scrape, A gap was super popular, and I would just rotate the linebackers to the right, and my linebacker up the gut would stop it, and then I'd run all around and take away the routes, and then they'd get sacked. So that was one of the years. But yeah, Trey, I kind of like it. Sounds weird, but even though I get annoyed sometimes at the meta, you have to adjust. But I always figure, which I've done in the past, not every year, some years the meta cleans me out, but some years that I'm really good against the meta, it makes it easy. Like, I think it was last year that I did pretty darn well against the meta overall for the majority. It makes it easier. You can kind of dumb yourself down if you figure out how to stop a meta or run on a meta. Like the 6-1 shut me down a couple years ago when I was on offense. I couldn't figure it out. But now on 6-1 versus 6-1, you want to slide opposite of your running back and ID that linebacker on the side of your running back. And you want a spread look will definitely exploit the 6-1 a lot more than people think. So and then pass lead inside will help. Anyways, moving on that, I don't want to give away the whole tip, but unless you're really, really elite and you change it up, which there are people out there, a lot of people run the basic 6-1 blitz, so that's something to look at. But yeah, Trey, that was something like that I was good at the swerve zone for sure,
For
bro.
sure, bro. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And I think, you know, like when you start to first become involved in competitive gameplay, you can kind of set yourself up to kind of fall into a trap because, you know, you get used to playing, you know, meta, and then it just becomes a time to where like that's what you're most accustomed to, you know, that's what, you know, you're built to stop, and then all of a sudden you get into a game with someone that isn't running the meta, and I think it's easy for people to see someone that's not running the meta, and you can be like, oh, well, this guy isn't good. Like, he's not running the meta, so obviously he's not good. And, you know, I've been playing Madden, so I can pretty much tell off the bat if someone isn't good or not, but I think one of the biggest mistakes is basically expecting because you know how to do certain things into the game, like, you know, all these mechanics are doing, right? And you know, for you to just automatically assume that because you know how to do that, that translates to you winning games, and I think that you know that's how you set yourself up for failure in the long run. But you know, and if Rose is still, I really wish that Rose was in here because you know I feel like this is a question that's you know more aimed at Rose specifically, but you know, something else, I don't know if you knew this, Shane, but I guess they're adding in 6-on-6 co-op mode and squads. You know, they didn't really get into a whole lot of, you know, deep dive, but I'm just curious if, you know, maybe you heard anything on that and if that's something that, you know, you're looking forward to at all or not really.
Yeah, that I mean that would be cool. Like honestly, like I'd play it if people wanted to play. Like if you wanted to play and with other people or like other people. I don't know. I did hear that they might make it tournament, but I don't know if that's true or not, or if it was just like rumors to make it sound good. But that would definitely be something pretty cool to you know to see how it works. Like I know they. Do you remember when they tried that at the Madden Bowl? Um, where they had like I don't remember what it was, like 3-on-3 or something like that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, they're going to be doing the 3-on-3, and, you know, from what I've been hearing is that they're going to be trying to do, like, something similar to, like, how NBA 2K has the park to where, you know, you create your own player, and it's like an open world type of thing, so, like, it's like King of the Court, so, like, you go to, like, these parks and, you know, you beat someone. If you win, you stay on the court, etc. It's like, you know, an open world type of thing that they're trying to get into Madden. And, you know, my only thing on that is like, you know, basketball I feel like is more for that sort of thing because, you know, like you can go to like a gym and find a basketball game, but like you know, like you can't really go out and find like a pickup football game in like the same way. So that would be like my only thing to where it's like, you know, something that doesn't really fit in that sort of thing. But it'll be interesting to see for sure. But again, this is I've been ranting about it, but it's like you know, if we could, you know, invest these into whatever. Or I'm not going to waste my breath on that, but you know, something else, Shane. You know, you've been kind of ranting to me a little bit before, so I want to give you an opportunity to kind of, you know, get your, you know, your rant in about how you've been feeling because I've obviously have my things that I've been, you know, saying, but theme diamonds. They have theme diamonds, 95 overalls that are, you know, 5 million in coins, and I know you have you tested me saying that you wanted me to bring this up on the podcast, so I'm bringing it up. So go ahead and go off on them.
All right, I appreciate it, Trey. It's just a huge money grab, and then it also validates my point that I talk about on here. I talk about in streams. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people agree with me. Um, Basically, so as you can see, for the longest time, 92s with team chems would be 93s. That was the top players. Well, earlier this week they dropped 95 overall team diamonds. With chemistries, you can get them up to 96. So you have QBs that are 96 running around. You have a running back. Well, and all that, right? Well, the pros lost their crap, Trey. They lost it. I was on Discord. I was on the MCS Discord. I saw so many pros basically saying what I say, but in the past, a lot of them were like, "Oh, top players don't matter. You just got to be good." Well, at that moment, when they were saying it, it was unlimited 95s were going to be allowed for the tournament this weekend. So they were losing it, Trey. They were so upset. They're like, that's not fair. I'm going to lose to some guy who's worse than me because they have 95s everywhere and I have 92s, 93s, or I can only afford 195 and they have unlimited because they opened up mom's credit card. But the same dudes in the past have said that, and I'm saying the same dudes, and I'll stand by it, the same dudes were like, in the past, well, it doesn't matter. If you're good, you could beat anyone. Like, I just like having the top players because it's cool and it's fun to do. The same people were up in arms saying it's not fair. Well, once MCS came out and said you can have 195 on offense and 195 on defense, all of a sudden the pros were cool with it. Well, yeah, because usually they have tons of coins because they are good. They are really good players, right? And they do spend a decent amount of money. But the thing is, 95s are still going for about $5 to $5.5 million, or not dollars, 5 to 5.5 million coins per 95 player. So I did about 120 and made about only 1.5 million or something like that of coins. So it really seems like for a player for 5 million coins, it's about $400 if you try to buy him. Now let's just say, well, you're so good. Okay, we understand that. You still have to spend some money, but it was just funny for me, Trey, because when I told you to remind me about this on Friday, this was when MCS said it was unlimited, and the same players, the same goons, the same gurus that in the past said, "Oh, the top, having a top team doesn't matter as much as skill. You got to adjust." They were crying in the comment section saying it's not fair, and um, like they ruined Madden. But now that they changed it to one offensive player on the offense and one on the defense, now it's nobody cares, right? Well, why don't they care? Because they can afford that. But if I went into the MCS Discord right now and I was like, I can't afford a 95 and have great players everywhere else like they do, I could sell a lot of my team and probably get 195. Or not even a lot of my team, just like 4 or 5 top players and get a 95. But then the problem is if I pick a wide receiver, but I sold my running backs, I have like a crappy run game then. Or if I want a QB and I have to sell my running backs plus my one of my better wide receivers, then I don't have any wide receivers and I can get pressed, right? Or if I put them on defense and I have to sell people on offense so for me it's just funny to see and it validates me. I don't even need to say anything anymore because I deal with the MCS comp scene more than a lot of people out there that do just normal ranked mutt. Um, and I don't really have to say anything to the pro players anymore because what happened earlier this week just goes to show that your roster and top players matter. So it just validates what I had to say and what I complained about. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go out there and beat Henry and win a championship, but it does matter to a degree. Like, I noticed, Trey, when I improved my team, like about, I don't know, what is this, November? I don't remember if it was like mid-September. I had terrible wide receivers and I was getting pressed to death. And I was being told, "Oh, it's just you need to do zig routes and drag routes and posts and corners." Nothing. I was doing that and I was getting pressed. Well, then I spent a little bit more money and I had some good wide receivers and all of a sudden the same defense I was getting over the top, right? I was doing all this stuff. So what I saw earlier this week, it just validates my complaints are more facts than complaining, Trey.
Yeah, no, you're definitely validated in your complaints for sure. But I mean, we knew this already. I mean, it's mainly at this point, it's just confirming kind of what we already knew. And I'm not gonna lie, I might have been one of those people back in the days, saying you gotta run these routes to beat man and stuff. But even me, like I'm someone that when it comes to man coverage, I like to think I have ways that I can beat man. And it's been rough, I would say, in my playing man. I mean, I still have success against man and things like that, but it's definitely been rough. But talk about your team. You did say to me earlier that you were able to get the Saquon Barkley. Is there anyone that you're kind of itching to upgrade? I think for me, I'm pretty much set. I think really the only position that I would want to upgrade at this point that's not like a luxury is probably tight end, but I mean other than that, I think I'm pretty much set. So you know. Oh yeah, and also, did you make any other changes to your team, or is it kind of the same as last tournament?
So Trey, honestly, I didn't remember until you said that you did say that to me about man beaters. It was also other people like in our UMC crew that said it. Also people that I talk to occasionally about Madden outside the crew that some are comp players. They said the same thing, so like it wasn't like I was banking on you. I actually didn't remember that you said it. So not saying that I don't take your word and pay attention to what you tell me because I listen to everybody. I just forget sometimes. If I had unlimited coins right now and I could get somebody, I would go get Deshaun Jackson 95 overall because I think he's like 95 or 96 speed. So press me if you can. And then on defense, I would go get the 95 free safety because I think that 95 free safety is going to be really humongous because I think people are going to try to streak like Deshaun Jackson, right? And throw it over the top. And that free safety 95 is going to be able to go and try to get to it. So, did I improve my team at all since the last tournament? I got a center that's better. Obviously, Saquon. I improved one wide receiver, Michael Crabtree, not the 95, but the 92 with the Chems of San Fran. It's a 93. But my wide receivers are kind of weak. Like they're okay, but like I was even told like my DK, he is um he is a little bit outdated. Um, so like my top wide receiver is probably, to be brutally honest, is probably like most top pros third best wide receiver, but it is what it is, right? Um, so Saquon was a major upgrade, and even Crabtree actually on defense. I did do Ronnie Lott. Sauce Gardner, Taron Johnson as cornerbacks, and then Trey Hendrickson, and J.J. Watt. Those were my improvements. So I kind of try to work on the defense a little bit more. But yeah, if I could, Trey, I would definitely go get Deshaun at wide receiver and then the free safety at defense, 95. I think those would be huge.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, you're good about earlier. I didn't take it as that. I just thought it was funny because I'm like, well, yeah, that's probably something that I would say. So yeah. But and you're still rocking, the Andrew Luck at quarterback. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I'm going to give away another membership while I explain that. Um, I I was gonna do the Johnny Manziel, but like the one underneath the LTD, I had pulled, and he couldn't throw right at all. He was pretty bad, so I just
He
stayed
couldn't
with
hit.
Andrew Luck. So congrats to Ball Forever Gaming for winning the second membership. There will be one more membership given away when we sign off.
Alrighty, so congratulations for winning another membership. Be sure to stay tuned because, like Shane said, we're going to be giving away another membership as we proceed on. So you got the Andrew Luck. You tried out the Johnny Manziel, kind of wasn't feeling them. So like when it comes to Ultimate Team, right? Who would you say? Because I know the obvious ones are probably going to be you want to get quarterback, wide receivers. Like aside from I guess the more obvious positions, what are some positions that you prioritize the most? I would say for me the positions that I kind of put the most priority to aside from like the obvious ones are pass rushers. Like the most important thing that I look for is like I want at least two good pass rushers that can rush the passer. So what are some of the more prioritized positions for you when you're putting a team together?
I would honestly, a big one is if this was real football, like I would go both lines of scrimmage, right? I would do both line of scrimmage. But no, I definitely go look at the defensive line, kind of like how you were saying, bro. And I want to get two defensive ends that are super fast that can drop in coverage if I want to, and and that's out of my dime 2-3. So that's stuff that I look forward to. And then I want to have obviously a good run game going. So obviously running back is really important to me as well, Trey.
Yeah, no, I get you on that. And yeah, and it's funny how you said, if this was real football, because, I mean, the offensive line, I don't even really look to upgrade them at all. I mean, if I upgrade the offensive line, it's because, I got a nice pull or something, but, it's definitely not something that I really upgrade. And, I feel the same way about quarterbacks, too, in a way, because it's like, because I don't play man to man. I'm more of a zone guy, so like I can work with subpar corners up till a certain point, but this year I kind of find myself investing more of my resources into cornerbacks. I've noticed. So so yeah. With that being said, something else that's a little bit interesting is I guess they're working on a Madden documentary. The documentary is going to be released on Prime Video. I'm sure you can look it up. They got the trailer on YouTube. And, I've watched the trailer and it looks pretty interesting. Definitely something that I'm going to check out. It's probably not going to be something profound. Um, knowing EA Sports, you'll probably have to buy a bundle before you're allowed to watch it, I'm guessing, but Shane, is that something that you're looking forward to watching, and what's your opinion on that?
You know, I think I think it'll be cool to just watch, but like we probably know the basics of what they're gonna say. Um, and they are gonna charge you $99, bro, to watch it. No, I'm just joking. I mean, but I was just adding on to the joke. But like, it's not something that I'm gonna go out of my way and be like, oh, I have to see. Like, this is must see. It's just something that like, if it's on and I want to like watch it because there's nothing else on, I'll definitely watch. But other than that, nah, man, it's not something that I'm gonna be like, oh, I got to see.
All right, well, something else that you definitely did like to see, or like to saw, but how about Mr. Geno Smith getting it done against the San Francisco 49ers? Definitely something that's probably nice. Of course, it's against the 49ers. And I think it was last year, too. I think Drew Lock also had a money drive. So, like, what was your reaction to the game last week against San Francisco? And do you guys think you have a chance to maybe make a run at the NFC West?
Um, Honestly, bro, I was more relieved than anything because I feel like if they would have lost, it was season over. Like, oh, it's still only halfway. Yeah, but it was just like you started out 3-0, and then you're like 1-5 or whatever. You needed that win to keep the locker room going and just a vibe changer. It was a vibe changer. Like you win that game, now you're a game back of Arizona. You welcome Arizona to, I believe it's in Seattle this weekend. I'm pretty sure. And you win that, you're back in first place. Like if you would have lost last week, I mean, I personally think the season would have been over just because like you were having hot diarrhea basically record wise after the first three games. So yeah, it definitely was a huge win, Trey.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, this might be a little bit, trigger happy. Obviously, San Francisco's coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. And, when you look at this San Francisco, I mean, Shanahan's probably going to be all right, but, do you think if things kind of go the same for San Francisco and they kind of miss out on the playoffs, how like does the seat kind of get hotter for Kyle Shanahan at this point, or do you think he'll probably be good, at least for like another couple years?
I honestly think he'll be good for another couple years. You could easily blame this year on injuries for the 49ers. Like I read a stat cuz I don't give a crap. It is what it is. But like Nick Bosa when he was on the field, the Seahawks scored 0, but when he was off the field due to his injury, the Seahawks scored 20. So I think next year they just run it, and McCaffrey's been hurt for a large part of the year. So I think that basically after next year, you see where everything is at for the 49ers. Like this year, you can throw it away. Next year, you see what happens and go from there.
Right, and then what about Sean McVay? Do you think same situation pretty much, or kind of, similar?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely the same. I feel like McVay is going to have wiggle room, right? I mean, why not? I would if you had most fans like it's I always say fan bases are very much the same. Some have more diehards than others, that's true, but there's still the same dumb fans in every group. There's still the same positive fans in almost every group. And then the diehards, you can be diehard and be like ultra negative, and you can be a diehard and ultra positive. But yeah, some teams in every sport have more diehard fans and than other fans, but you have the same fans in every fan base. Is my point. Like for example, the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Cleveland Browns and they lost in a snow game, right? Well, I like reading the timelines because it's funny to me when I watch games. So first half, fans wanted Justin Fields in. They wanted Russell Wilson gone. They wanted him benched. Even though he was throwing pretty good, he had that one fumble, but they wanted him gone. Like he's too old, it's done, right? Well, second half, Justin Fields comes in. He does a good run, and then he like kind of threw a turd ball up on a third down, and Russ is on the sidelines. Cleveland stops them. They go down and win the game, right? The same fans are saying that wanted Justin Fields and Russ gone were saying Russ should have been out there. Why was Justin Fields out there? And that happens in every fan base. And then a lot of fans were like, Tomlin needs to be fired. He's a loser. But really, he's not a loser. I mean, obviously, his pedigree is super strong. So if you ever want to, and this is for anyone who listens, like on a playback or is listening now, if you ever want to act like your fan base is the worst one or the best one and no other fan base, because I hear it all the time. Because I was at the Houston Astros for baseball and their game threads, just seeing sometimes the Seahawks, obviously, we know why, Mariners, and just other teams. Like, if something bad happens, like the Vikings and stuff, you will get the same people saying this person should be fired or this person should be benched for for a bad mistake or for one mistake. So you have bad apples in every group. But it was funny to me just reading the game threads on Twitter or whatever it's called when you click on the teams playing and the timeline. And it was just funny. Same people wanting Justin Fields in and Russ gone. In the second half, they didn't know why Tomlin put Justin Fields in for that down and instead of Russ, and Tomlin should be fired for it. But they were saying the opposite in the first half.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I always cringe because that's been like a talking point, and that's just like whenever someone says that Tomlin should be fired, I just cringe because it's like if the Steelers were to fire Mike Tomlin, he would easily find a job with like 15 teams in the league, or at least half. I mean, I think I read something that like Mike Tomlin doesn't have a single losing record on his pedigree or what have you. So I mean, it's like yeah, like you said, the whole Tomlin thing. I just don't get that part at all. But like when you talk about, and I just brought this up because I thought it was funny. So you said you have a Crabtree on your receiver, but the Crabtree that you have, it's not the sorry wide receiver, right? It's a different version of Crabtree.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good one, right? It's not the great one though. The great one would be the 95, bro. So he's a good one. He's not the mediocre one like the 89, bro. He's not that sorry wide receiver. He's just good, bro. For anyone that wants to try out somebody though that likes to run, if you have the coins, the Saquon Barkley is pretty fun to use because when he gets into the open field, he is super fast, Trey.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely, I got the new Derrick Henry, and I kind of regret that now because, like, I'm passing, like, 95% of the time. But, like, I mean, Derrick Henry is good. He'll truck some people, but yeah. I wish, and even like that Keith Byers guy, I think his name is, and he's pretty good. I played someone who was using him, and yeah, he's a beast out there for sure. But since we got tournament time coming up, and I wanted to ask you, is there any and this is kind of like a bit of a weird one, but when you get prepared to go in these tournaments, is there like are you a superstitious kind of guy? Like, is there a specific, routine that you like to, you know, do before you get into a tournament, or is it just kind of, you roll out of bed and you're like, oh, I'm ready to play, let's get into it?
Bro, honestly, perfect question from you. It's usually early. Usually I don't play Madden at 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm not gonna lie. It's just not my cup of tea to play it at that early. My body's not ready. So I am a little bit at a disadvantage just personally because I'm not used to playing a video game that early. Because in the past, when ladders used to be on, it was an all day thing, so I could get on at 12 and play till, what I mean, like 5, and then be with the family, and then I'd get back on at like 8 o'clock and play in the evening. But this has a set time. But no, basically what I try to do is I try to wake up like an hour and a half before I have to play. I mean, I'm usually awake by that time anyways, but if I get up by 8 a.m., I get up, wake up, I read, and then I'll get on and play like one game or two games, depending, just to get my hands warmed up. And it has helped me better this year, though, Trey, than not playing and then just loading up and playing. It definitely has helped me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get you on that. And, speaking of Madden, we had another tournament that came by, and our we have a new belt winner, and his name is Lambo. Shout out to Lambo for winning his first belt. And this was the Unstoppable Challenge. And I'll be honest, like the way that they're presenting the MCS games from like a because like I'm not like that into competitive. So like for me, I when I watch these tournaments, I'm watching for like the entertainment value, and it's like the way that I mean the announcers are cool. Like Nick is all right, but when you have like people like one great user and like for like the first 30 minutes they're just talking about basketball and like they go into like conversations about how Clef is 6'5" for 5 minutes. It's just like what are we doing? But Shane, did you get a chance to watch this tournament at all? And what's your takes on the new belt winner?
I'm not gonna lie, Trey. I didn't really watch this tournament. Like I watched the other tournaments, like, and something I've done this year compared to like, well, I so for a couple of years, I'm not gonna lie, when the baby was little, I'd be too busy, so I wouldn't watch anybody playing, right? Um, because I was just too busy. I didn't even know half the time what the meta was for sure, or how to run it. I might have known what the meta was, but not how it was ran or how to beat it, right? This year, I'm back to basically watching it most of the time, and like I was pre youngest child, right? Pre youngest child, bro. I used to watch all the tournaments. I'd get like a diet coke, I'd get some snacks, and I'd be watching it. Well, then for a couple years, the little one was too little. I was too busy, so I didn't. So this year's like the first one where I locked in and watched every tournament. But um, when they had this last tournament, I was doing something with my parents, with my kids and stuff. They came into town, and honestly, I couldn't watch it. I just kind of left it on so I could get that free card. Um, but I didn't watch it. I will be watching this one, and I'll be watching the LCQ and Madden Bowl. And so it'll be cool, man. I'm back to watching it again. I just missed this one out of the other ones that I did watch.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that for sure. And yeah, it's getting pretty close to LCQ. And I mean, do you think like do they still call it LCQ because it's I mean it like do they still call it LCQ or is it like something else?
It's still LCQ.
Okay, yeah, it's still LCQ and that makes sense because it's like same sort of setup, right? Where you have the 4 or 5 major tournaments and depending on your status the winner and the runner up get, automatic bids to Madden Bowl, and then, they fill out the rest of it with your MCS points, and then LCQ is like the last chance for someone to qualify. Um, so yeah, we get that going on for sure. Um, and when you talk about you know cards and how Madden is gonna be getting pretty ridiculous. I mean, we're having the 95s coming out pretty soon. Is it your prediction that by the time the next tournament comes out that are pros gonna complain more about 95s, or do you think by that time it'll be like kind of what's to be expected? Everyone should have a few 95s at that point.
By I think the LCQ Bros not even till January 11th. So I think there'll be 99s out there. Um, I think there'll be 99s, Trey. But one thing that I was going to say to you is, and I love it, and this is where I agree with the pros because I think you and I have talked about it in the past. A lot of them are not liking the MCS setup. They think that it should last a little bit longer. Like instead of putting tournaments like the first week out, right? You don't put the first one out till September, and then like the last couple in February, and then have the Madden Bowl in March. So there's not such a big like break, right? Because like technically for most people, they're gonna quit after this tournament. They're not gonna try to do LCQ on January. I think it's the 11th for 32. Only 32 people make it, bro. I just don't think they'll do it. So a lot of people are gonna be done for MCS comp at 12. Like or not 12 in December. I was picturing the month, so I said 12. Most people are gonna be done in December, bro. And then you got 8 months to wait for it to come back out again. That's not really a good look for the game, in my opinion. And a lot of pros are starting to get on that boat as well, where they believe like, yo, you gotta let them last a little bit longer. People shouldn't be done so soon. And another thing that is going on, Trey, is that they other tournaments. A lot of people are upset at like Players Lounge and Gamer Saloon. I was going to ask you about this because obviously my goal was to get on Players Lounge and Gamer Saloon this year, but it probably will be next year. Um, is that a lot of the pros are saying that they're getting priced out. Like it's too expensive to enter the top comp Madden tournaments on Players Lounge and Gamer Zone for 15 to 25 bucks an entry every night. So I was going to ask you, is it really that expensive? And if so, what do you think about a lot of the pros that don't want to do it because it's too expensive?
Well, I think I'm not exactly a high roller on Players Lounge, so I couldn't really tell you from like the high up pros that say they put in $25 to get into top tournaments. I mean, $25 is a lot of money to get into tournaments. And I was actually looking at the tournaments the other day, like because this is gonna be my first time, and from what I've seen, it's really, I mean, you'll have a tournament that's like I don't know, $100, and first place gets like I don't know, like 60. I mean, the payouts on Players Lounge tournaments, from what I've seen, doesn't seem that great. And like when it was in your heyday, right? Did you do a lot of tournaments, or was it mostly you would like just play guys over another and just hustle that way? And if you did do a tournament, what was like the biggest tournament that you entered that you can remember?
Honestly, Trey, I did both. From like Madden 16 to Madden 18, I did both. The only reason I stopped doing tournaments is because gamers soon stopped doing huge ones. So Madden 16 to Madden 18, they did like $2,500 tournaments. Um, I don't remember exactly the payout. It was like I don't know, top six or something. Got paid like fifth, sixth, third, fourth, then second, then first. And I remember, I think on second place, I got like $100 each time because I got second place 4 times in Madden 16, bro. And I think it was 25 bucks an entry fee back then. So that was what 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Yeah, 9 years ago. $25 back then. I mean, it was probably like literally like 65, $70 now, and the tournament was probably like 3,500 in nowadays thing. So the only reason I stopped doing that, Trey, is because I didn't really want to do a $10 entry fee for $30. I mean, I'd rather just hustle and play people. And honestly, did I hustle? Yeah, I did. I mean, I've been pretty transparent on that, but it's not like what other people would do, bro. It was not me really ghosting and being scared of other top players. It was like I'd play Crush and lose, right? Then I'd play Crush and win. And then I'd play Wes. I'd win. Then I'd play Wes and lose. Well, then basically we were all just starting to figure out like us, because like that us it would be like we're just giving money to gamers soon, right? We're giving them the taxes and all that. None of us are making money, so we're just playing each other for what? So gamers soon would get paid, right? Well, then like even guys like Skimbo or all them, like Skimbo would be like, "Oh, I only will play for like 200 plus," right? Well, he wasn't on all the time, and I'm also not dumb. But I would have played him once in a while still for $200, even though I knew I was going to lose 95% of the time just to get those good reps. But he was kind of a DICK at that time, so why would I give somebody I dislike money when I knew I was going to lose most of the time? But he didn't even ask me even back then, so it wasn't like I went out and I was like, I'm not playing any good players, I'm not playing any great players, I'm just going to take money from the bad players and then scam people out of that way. What basically happened, Trey, is the big tournaments I did enter, and I got second place 4 times. Madden 17, I was a little worse than Madden 16, and then Madden 18, I was better than Madden 17, but Madden 16, I was definitely legit, bro. And then they stopped running the big ones because there's too much hassle. And then people are getting caught playing for people, and that's one thing, bro, that I never did. Like I got hired out to log onto this guy's account for college, but not on Gamer Studio, not on Players Lounge. And I thought they knew that the guy was hiring him. I don't remember what school it was. I think I told you the story. It was like Texas, I believe. And we'd split 50-50, and I made $18,000 for him that year. And then we'd split it 50-50, and then it'd be 9K each. Supposedly, I was told later on that he was only giving me like a quarter of that. So maybe who knows if that was telling the truth, but like I stopped dealing with him because the next year, bro, I lost a game to a guy for $100, and he told me you're gonna pay me like $50, and I'm like, f that, bro. I'm like I literally ran through, I literally ran through everybody for him, and he wants $50 back when I made him at least 9,000, and per some other people I made him $27,000, and you're pissed off over $50. Well, he hired the guy that beat me after I told him I'm not paying him, and the guy played me, and I beat his face in. And the guy that hired me out was like, "I want you back, bro. You were right. It was a fluke that he beat you." And I was like, "Nah, f you, bro. I never helped him again. Even though I could have made money, it was all about the loyalty." But to sum it up, nah, Trey, I would have done tournaments and all that, bro. Honestly, last year when Red Hot Gaming was still like popular, I did the monthly tournaments. I signed up for the monthly tournaments. I was paying $25 a month, and then sometimes I'd pay $20 to enter the big tournaments and stuff. So I've never really ducked, and I was like that though, man. Like, did I hustle? Hell yeah. Like, if I knew that I could take great money off of somebody, yeah. But I never I was asked honestly on Gamer Saloon and Players Lounge to play for people, and I refused, Trey. I didn't want to do that to people. That's just the honesty right there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I mean, and even like when we first met, right? Because we first met on Gamer Saloon, and we played and, it kind of, it was what it was. But I mean, you were better than me at the time. I mean, I'll beat your ass now. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, you were more accustomed to, Gamer Slim because, like you said, you've been around for a while, so you were kind of putting me on game, so to speak, when we first met. And I mean, you could have and I never got the impression that from when we first met that you were trying to, I guess try to, screw me over or try to hustle me and try to, take money, this and that. And, obviously there were some situations, like you said, if you knew you could get money, then it was what it was. Not like you were out there trying to screw people over. But when you look back and, the whole college situation that you were talking about, do you think, um, do you think that when you first got into this gamers lose situation that you're kind of the type of person that you'll give someone the benefit of the doubt until they prove you otherwise, or was it a situation where you just thought that when you first got in that you're just like a trusting person overall, where maybe you should have been more skeptical when you first started getting involved with when these people, if you know what I mean.
I got hustled, bro. Like I got hustled by Playball. I thought he was somebody that was my friend. I was playing him for like $10, $15 a game, Madden 15. Like he knew about my situation. I knew about his situation. Um, and then once I beat him in Madden 16 a couple times, he blocked me. And then that beef went on for a long, long time. And yep, there is about me blocking his games on YouTube. But that was after months and months and months and months of him blocking my games in people's DMs on Gamer Saloon. And yeah, and so I just figured like whatever, a hit back's a hit back, right? But no, Trey, I never once thought of scamming you. And like honestly, that's the easy way out, right? I mean, you're on mic with me, we're friends. You're the co-host with me, and if I'm like, yeah, I'm scamming the piss out of it. No, I never was. See, it wasn't like what people think. When people are like, well, you did fake losses. You gave people money. Yeah, I would do fake losses, $4 or $5 here or there to people and just let it sit so my record would look worse. But there was a reason to that. After I got scammed and hustled, bro, for the first year, I realized all the people that were signing up that I was playing because my record looked worse was people that were bum hunting. And most people, if you know what that means, bum hunting is like, let's say I see a guy who's 0 and 10, and I'm like, oh, he plays $200 games, and then I'm like 5 and 5, but I have five fake losses, and I go and take his money. Nah, that's not what it was. I was going after the bum hunters, the people that were shady, that were hustling other people. I was kind of like, what's that called? Is it called an anti-hero? Where like you could be seeing good and bad?
Yeah, or like a vigilante, so to speak. So
Yeah, it was kind of like that, Trey. It was like I'm not going to go out and do that to somebody like you that I know is green, right? And that is innocent for the money scamming people. I did it more towards the people that were like DMing other people and thinking it was funny to take their money. So I'd be like, oh, okay, you want that? All fair. You know what I mean? All fair. And actually, there's a few guys that I played that I took a lot of money off of, like a lot of money, that just kept wanting to play me. I didn't keep the games close for them. They just kept wanting to play me because they felt like I wasn't scamming them like other people that would, like beat them for 50, let them win for 20, then beat them for 200. I won't say the names, but I mean, I usually did it more against people that were bum hunting, so to speak. I never knew how good I would be, bro. Like, and I never knew it. And like, out of 15, I lost more than I won, bro. I took it on the chin, and I learned the ropes. Like, this is just for everyone out there. You got to learn the ropes. You got to learn the rules to the game. Um, and Madden 15, I lost a good amount of money, and I was never mad about that. The only thing I was mad about is people I thought were cool with me that would flip sides for anything, like King Duck. Like, you know who King Duck is, Trey. He literally, I thought we were cool, and I beat him in a tournament. Everybody said he was gonna beat me, and I beat him in a tournament, made it to the championship. I think I don't remember what it was, bro. Like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And then he tried to have I don't remember who it was. Pavin hustle me for 500, and I was gonna play King Duck for 500, and then a dude that I was cool with, that was cool with King Duck, said don't play him. He's having, I think it was Pavin. He's having Pavin log onto his system. After that, I didn't talk to King Duck. But like, to sum up your question, yeah, Trey, like I used to give people multiple chances, bro. Like, and I just learned that honestly, most people will rob their mom for $5, bro. It's very few you'll find loyalty to. Bro, there was a guy. I'm gonna say this right now. There's a guy on GamerZone that I was cool with, that I was better than. He doesn't talk to me anymore, which is fine. And he kind of ignores me now when I try to be nice to him because he is on the MCS ladders. Um, he ignored my direct message. He kind of ignored me. Like, well, he did ignore me. I guarantee. I mean, he was on. He read it. So, um, when I was on Gamer Saloon, he would be like, "What do you think of this guy? Whoop de whoop, right? What do you think of this guy? Whoop de whoop." Well, we were cool, and this was I didn't get hustled because my game was strong then, but he kept asking the guy, and I was better than this guy that I'm talking about, Trey. And this is where I'm talking about even loyalty at the time because I thought me and him were cool. Um, the guy that is on the MCS right now, that's like in the 200s to 300 rankings consistently. Um, I was asked to play him on another guy's name for like $500 games, and I would have taken all the dude's money, and I told the guy no because I wasn't gonna do that to him. Plus, I didn't want to get banned, but I would have never done it anyways. Like, some people have loyalty traits, some people don't.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that, and it's definitely interesting. Since we're talking about scams, and I'm kind of curious because obviously, when you switched over to MCS, you're jumping into Mutt, pretty new, and there are some scams that go on with Mutt. Like, I don't know if you heard, like there used to be this huge scam going on in Mutt where people would say, "Oh well, if you buy this card and you buy this card, it actually duplicates the card. So if you buy my card, it'll duplicate it." Has there ever been like any people that have tried to scam you on the Ultimate Team thing, or not really?
Um, I've gotten like please and like, hey, let me win this game. Like, one guy told me this year, let me win, bro. I'm gonna die in 2 years. I'm a paraplegic, and I and I, and I'm not lying, bro. I'm being I'm being honest on MCS Mutt, and he was telling me about how he's in a wheelchair and like he's gonna die in a couple years, and I still beat his face in. So what comes around goes around. I don't know, man. Hopefully he was just bull crapping, but no, I haven't dealt with any like Mutt scams at all, really at all.
All right, you heard it here first, Shane. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, uh, or indifferent. It doesn't matter if you're abilitied or if you're a paraplegic. If you face Shane got you 11 in Madden, he will play you the same way. It doesn't matter your upbringing, or what challenges you face in life. He is still going to play you in Madden. So I can definitely respect that from Shane. One thing that I did want to ask you really quick is like, the switch stick is definitely a mechanic that they introduced in the game, and it's gotten a lot of reach. A lot of people seem to be using it. And I'm gonna make a prediction, and I'm gonna say that the switch stick is going to stay for the next coming years. I think it is a mechanic that a lot of the pros are liking, from what I can tell, and my prediction is that it's going to stay for the next year or so. Do you agree with that prediction that the switch stick will be around for a while?
At first I thought they were going to take it away like the Cone Vision, but I do think they'll stick it around next year, but I think that they will switch. I think they'll dumb it down a little bit, or not dumb it down. I think they'll make it harder. I don't think they want it where people can switch stick all around and stay in one defense and take it away there. So I think basically it will be back next year. It just will not be as overpowered.
Alright, you heard it here first. The Switch stick is going to be around, and we'll see how that goes. And so yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say. I see that Shane's muted his mic, so I'm going to try to keep it eating up time until okay, it looks like he's back. But we appreciate you guys for tuning us in for this Thanksgiving, because really this is the Thanksgiving edition, and the next time we'll be back will be pretty close to Christmas. So the holiday season full swing, and we hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving, eat some good food, watch some football, spend some time with your family, all that good stuff. And we'll be back not this Friday, but the Friday after that. And I think Shane might have another giveaway that he might like to do. And also, if you guys aren't doing anything tomorrow, tune in to Shane Got You 11. He'll be streaming his games on there, hoping to get into the top 50, make it to single eliminations, and really that's all I got. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will see you in the next version of the West Coast Podcast.
All right, I appreciate it, Trey. I just did the last giveaway of the night. Congrats to Parlay for winning the membership. Yeah, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe. Enjoy the holidays. We will be back December 6th. So I think we'll have Trey. We'll have one. We'll have the December 6th, and then we'll have a December 20th one for the Christmas, and maybe we'll do like 5 or 6 giveaways on December 20th for membership giveaways. But for Trey, I'm Shane. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you December 6th.